Hello everyone, this is Kisle from Edureka, and today we'll be discussing about the Google Cloud Training. So, if you got a topic in mind you want Edureka to cover, just put it in the comment section below, and we'll be happy to put up a video soon. So, coming on to the agenda of today's session, first of all, we'll be starting with cloud computing. We'll understand the various cloud services provided and the various providers of these cloud services. We'll see why GCP is important and used in the industry a lot. Moving forward, we'll learn about the various certifications offered by the Google Cloud Platform, the GCP training here at Edureka, and then we'll learn about the Google Cloud Platform and its services in depth. And finally, we'll end our session with a hands-on demo on the Google Cloud Platform services. So let's get started. So let's understand what is cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is basically getting the services you desire on your computer via cloud. You don't need to buy thousands of servers or systems to work. Everything is managed by the cloud service provider. So cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database storage, application, and other IT resources through a cloud service platform via the internet with a pay-as-you-go pricing. It is the use of remote servers on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than a local server on your personal computer. Now, third-party cloud enables organizations to focus on their core business instead of expanding resources on computer infrastructure and maintenance. Now, there are various cloud services which are offered, and among these, there are the three main services which are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Now, these models offer increasing abstraction, thus, they are often portrayed as layers in a stack. Now, starting off with infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a service is where the consumer can deploy and run arbitrary software which can include operating systems and applications. The consumer does not manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure, but has control over operating system, storage, and deployed application. Coming on to platform as a service, the platform as a service vendors offer a development environment to application developers. The provider typically develops toolkit and standards for the development and channels for distribution and payment. In the platform as a service models, cloud providers deliver a computing platform typically including operating system, programming languages, execution environment, database, and web server. Now coming on to our final service, which is software as a service, the capability provided to the consumer is to use the provider's application running on the cloud infrastructure. The applications are accessible from various client devices through either a thin client interface such as web browser or a programming interface. The consumer does not manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure, which includes network, servers, operating system, storage, or even individual application capabilities. Now, as you can see here, we have so many cloud providers. We have DigitalOcean, VMware, Rackspace, Google Cloud Platform, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Joinet, IBM Cloud, and Terramark. Now, what makes Google stand out from this crowd? Let's see. Now, Google Cloud Platform is a suite of computing services that runs on the same infrastructure that Google uses internally for its end-user products such as Google Search, Gmail, Google Photos, and YouTube. And we all know how big is the database of Gmail, YouTube, and Google Search. And I don't think in the recent years, Google server has ever gone down. In the bottom here, you can see that Google is the only company which has the highest growth rate. The growth rate is even more than 100%. Now, let's have a look at some of the features of GCP to understand what really gives it an upper hand over other vendors. First of all, it is cost effective. There are no upfront costs needed, and on an average, you have to pay 60% less than any other company which uses the same instance for compute, networking, storage, and others. It is highly scalable. It can be scaled easily according to your needs with virtually no cost. Now, custom machine types is a feature of Google Compute Engine that lets you easily create a machine type which is customized to your need. With custom machine types, you can create a virtual machine with optimal amount of CPU and memory for your workloads. You can create a machine with as little as 1 CPU up to as much as 64 CPUs. Now, coming to the Internet of Things, Google Cloud Platform has an IoT-specific intelligent platform that unlocks business insights from your global device network. Now, Google Cloud IoT is a set of fully managed and integrated services that allow you to easily and securely connect, manage, and ingest IoT data from globally dispersed devices at a large scale. You can also process them, visualize them, and analyze it in real time. Now, coming on to API platform and ecosystem, Google Cloud Platform's cross-cloud API platform enables businesses to unlock the value of data. deliver modern application, and power ecosystem. Now coming on to big data analytics, GCP provides fully managed data warehousing, batch and stream processing, data exploration with added Hadoop and Spark specific configuration and reliable messaging. Now coming on to cloud AI, Google Cloud's AI provide modern machine learning services with their pre-trained models and a service to generate your own tailored models. Their neural net-based machine learning service has better training performance and increased accuracy as compared to other large-scale deep learning systems. Our final point is serverless. Now, GCP is serverless. This doesn't mean that there are no servers used by Google. Let's understand first what serverless means. A serverless is a new paradigm of computing that abstracts away the complexity associated with managing servers for mobile and API backends. All you have to do is put in your code, and Google will dynamically provision resources as needed. No management of servers. Now, applications with rapid time to market and unpredictable scale requirements benefit the most from being serverless. Now, here you can see there are various companies which use GCP for various purposes. We have Coca-Cola, Spotify, Snapchat, Wix, and Philips. These are some of the major and big companies which use GCP. Now, cloud-trained professionals are high in demand and for a good reason. Understanding the how of cloud computing requires a broad knowledge across a number of fields. So, Google provides certifications through which you seem to be eligible for the perfect role you desire in the cloud environment. So, in total, there are 4 certifications offered by Google. We have the Professional Cloud Architect, Professional Data Engineer, the G Suite Administrator, and the G Suite. Among these, the most important certification in accordance to cloud computing is the Professional Cloud Architect. Now, a cloud architect is an IT professional who is responsible for overseeing a company's cloud computing strategy. This includes cloud adoption plans, cloud application design, and cloud management and monitoring. These architects oversee application architecture and deployment in cloud environments, including public cloud, private cloud, as well as hybrid cloud. Cloud architects may also be involved in legal areas of cloud computing by negotiating contracts and working alongside legal and procurement departments. Architects ensure service level agreement requirements are met. Now, Edureka offers a detailed and comprehensive course on Google Cloud Architecture certification training, which is aligned with the certification of Google to train you in such a manner that you understand everything in depth and pass the certification with flying colors. Now, it's a 12 module course. So, the module 1 is the Google Cloud Platform Introduction. In this module, you will learn about Google and the global infrastructure. You will also learn about the regions, zones, and the projects that make up the GCP environment. Coming on to module 2, we have Managing GCP Services. In this module, you will learn how to manage GCP using console and command line tool, the Cloud Shell, gcloud, gsutil, and also you will learn how to install and configure Cloud SDK. Now the next module is GCP Networking Services. In this module, you will learn about the GCP networking concepts and how to set up network topology, how to connect different GCP resources with each other and isolate them using network policies and firewalls. Coming on to our 4th module, which is the GCP IAM and security features. In this module, you'll learn Identity and Access Management, IAM, and the several management tools which are offered by Google Cloud Platform. Now the next module is GCP Compute Services. In this module, you will learn how to create and manage virtual machines and work with Compute Engine. In the next module, which is Storage and Database Services, you will learn about the different storage and database services offered by Google, learn how to choose the appropriate database in what situation. Now the next module is Containers, and in this module, you will learn how to deploy, manage, and scale containerized applications or Kubernetes. Now, Cloud Data Flow for data processing. In this module, you will learn how to develop and execute a variety of data processing patterns using the data flow processing and how to manage cluster using the Dataproc service. Now, module 9 is the GCP APIs and development services. And in this module, you will learn how to use GCP for application development, deployment, debugging, and monitoring. Coming on to our 10th module, we have GCP DevOps services. Here you will learn how to use GCP DevOps services for CI/CD using Jenkins and how to debug using Stackdriver in DevOps environment. Now, designing and implementing GCP migration. This module is also very important as here you will learn how to check different metrics and take decision to migrate from other cloud services to GCP or to migrate from on-premises to GCP. Now our final and last module is the GCP Architect Exam Case Study Understandings. In this module, you will learn the official case studies which are provided by Google for GCP Architect exam and practice on these with a hands-on environment so that these case studies help you to clear the exam with good score. And you will also practice on these case studies with sample exam problem statement. So as you can see, for the past 5 years, GCP trend has been increasing with a very good rate. The average salary for a cloud computing professional or a cloud architect is around $150,000, and there are more than 10,000 jobs in this field. So let's understand what is GCP. Now, Google Cloud Platform is a suite of computing services and management tools which are offered by Google. Alongside a set of management tools, it also provides a series of modular cloud services including computing, data storage, data analytics, and machine learning. Now, here are the major 10 service areas or the services which are provided by Google. We have the compute services, storage and database services, network services, the Google Big Data service, we have certain developer tools, we have identity and security, Internet of Things, Cloud AI, which is Google's machine learning service, and finally we have search and management tools and data transfer tools. Now, Google Cloud Platform services are available in location across North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. These locations are divided into regions and zones. You can choose where to locate your application to meet your latency, availability, and durability requirements. Now, regions are independent geographic areas that consist of zones. Location within regions tend to have a round-trip network latency of just under 5 milliseconds. Now, a zone is a deployment area for cloud platform resources within a region. So let's have a look at the various locations where the servers are located and the number of zones for that particular regions. Here you can see that there are a total of 15 regions used by Google with at least 3 zones in every region. Now that we have understood the importance of cloud computing and the roles of cloud architect along with various cloud features and the service of GCP, let's have a look at an industry-based use case where you need to set up your machines and database on the cloud and connect them so that all your requirements are met. So for that, all you need to do is log into your Google Cloud Platform account and go to console. So here I'll create a VM instance. Just go to Compute Engine, click on the VM instance button. Enter the name of the instance and select the zone which you want to use. Now here you have the option to select the machine types. Here I'm going to select a single CPU machine. Coming down, you have the option to select the boot disk image. Now I'll change it to CentOS 7. And just by that, tapping on the create button, within seconds, your instance will be created. So as you can see, within seconds, my instance was created. Now, all I need to do is create a SQL instance, which is my requirement. Now, usually you have the option to select between the first generation and the second generation, but the second generation is recommended as it has 7 times the throughput and the 20 times the storage capacity than the first generation. And is less expensive than the first generation for most use cases. So just type in the instance ID, select the root password, and select the location you want this instance to be located. Just tap on the create button and within minutes your SQL instance will also be created. So now you can see that my SQL instance was created. Now if we go to home, you'll see that under the resources tab we have one compute engine instance and one cloud SQL instance. So we can use these instances separately, but our requirement here is of a compute engine which also needs a cloud SQL instance, as my company, say for instance, works only on SQL. So I need to connect these two instances, right? So just go to this compute engine instance and you see this Edureka training. You have the external IP address, copy this IP address. Now go to your cloud SQL instance, select the instance and just tap on the edit icon. Let's go to the authorized network section and just need to add a network. Paste the IP address of the VM instance and the name is optional. The moment you add it and save, the SQL instance and the VM instance you created are now connected. and you can access the SQL instance via the VM instance you just created. So let's fire up this VM instance. So this is a CentOS based VM. So first we need to do the yum update and see if all the softwares are installed or not. So let's update the system first. So let us install Java. Now that we have installed Java, let us check the Java version. I think it is going to be 8. Yeah, this is Java 8. So let's install the SQL instance now, because although the SQL instance is connected, this system doesn't have the SQL, MySQL. Now that I have SQL installed in the system and the SQL instance is also connected, so in order to connect it to the SQL instance, you need to put in the command MySQL -- the host. Now here you have to put the IP address of the database which you created. That is the SQL database. So where we can find it? You can find it under the SQL instance. See the public IP address. Just copy this one, paste it here. Now here you have the option to select a user, root, and password. So let me first create a user and a password apart from the default username and password. So now that I have created another user for my name and a password, it will be easy for us to manage. So because it provides a certain amount of security also if you create a username specific. So in the user, I'll put in my name, and in the password section, so as you can see, you've been redirected to this MySQL instance. Now if I write show databases, it will show me the 3 default databases which are already there, which you can see here too in the SQL instance: information underscore schema, MySQL, and performance schema. Now let me create a database. Now when I show databases, there are 4 databases, and the same will be reflected here. Just let me refresh this page. Now under databases, you have another database added, which is the training database. Now in the same way, you can add any table or any other query you want to do. Anything you do on a MySQL instance can be done through it. And here you have your VM instance and SQL instance uploaded and up and running on the cloud. You can stop this instance when and where required according to your requirements. So now that we have seen all the 12 modules covered in the Google Cloud Architect certification training provided by Edureka, let me quickly take you through the LMS, which is the Learning Management System here at Edureka. So when you opt for this course, you will be redirected to this LMS page. In this LMS page, as you can see here, we have the course content section, which contains all the content related to our Google Cloud Architecture course. It contains the presentations, the case studies, and the class recordings. And it has a live tracker to track your performance. Now, in case you miss any class by any reason, you need not worry. Here in the class recording section, you can go through all the recordings of these classes which are already available here. Finally, here in the personal library section, you can upload any document, file, or any dataset which you think will be required while learning this course. So guys, if you want to know more about the details of this Google Cloud Architect certification training, you can mention it in the comment section below. So guys, this is it. I hope this training video was informative and hope you like this video. Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!